Hi, hello, and welcome, or welcome back, I suppose. It is no secret that I am a lover of pro wrestling. I love it in many forms, and I love finding media about it or adjacent to it. Yes, I will be seeing Queen of the Ring as soon as humanly possible. But I say that because when I was looking through the graphic novel section of my library and saw this cover, oh, I was immediately on that. So, as you saw, today we're looking at Pillow Talk by Stephanie Cook and Mel Valentine Vargas. We're following Grace. She's awkward, not too confident, and has a complex history with her stepmother. She's half dragged by her friend Callie to a night with the PFF, Pillow Fighting Federation. This is not Playboy, it's more kind of roller derby. It's very pro wrestling. There are tryouts after this event, and Grace decides why the hell not, and the rest is her feather-filled fight to the top. This is, at its core, a feel-good book. It's soft, it's gentle, and it's all about finding love for yourself despite outside pressures and expectations. And you know what? Sometimes that's exactly what you need. Sitting with a deeply complex book that's meant to be read deeply into, with an array of subtleties and turning cogs, is all well and good. But sometimes something easy is the right choice. This is the type of book where things just go right. It's here to lift your spirits. The stakes are pretty low, and it becomes clear kind of quickly that Grace is going to rise up with ease. And that didn't put me off, as sometimes it might. Like, sometimes I want a little more conflict within the story itself. But I found I wasn't needing it here. She gets past auditions, easily makes it into the main event roster, goes viral and becomes champion, all kind of quickly and easily. This is a light story with many successes, and it's a cute story where you get to feel all warm and squishy and fuzzy afterwards. It's very charming. And frankly, we love a girls supporting girls story. Everyone there has a story bubbling in the background, and we get to hear a little about some of them. And because of that, they find comfort in lifting each other up, knowing that they could well be the next one to need that for themselves. But it is a selfless act, to be clear. It's just a bunch of people lifting each other up, but there is that knowledge of community kind of thing. Like, no, this is not the most realistic book on the whole in terms of the, how quickly she just rises and she does just get things, and the way the way there isn't a huge amount of conflict at all. Yeah, that's not the most realistic, but like I said, it's low stakes and it's feel good stuff. You don't always need that. It's also visually bloody lovely. First of all, it's always great to see such a range of women in one book. You look at terms of size, race, visual aesthetic, sexuality, all that kind of thing. Grace is a plus size girl, which is part of what makes her part of what makes her not so confident. And she does struggle to see herself as beautiful, but we see her begin to learn to find a little love for herself as the book goes on. Is she suddenly a body confident extrovert by the end? No, of course she bloody isn't. But she has built up a little confidence in herself, and we're safe with the knowledge that she has a fantastic little network around her. Yeah, a lot of the explorations of this kind of thing are, kind of surface level, but that's fine. This is very clearly a book meant to be accessible. I believe maybe meant for teen readers. I'm not 100% sure. So, being upfront is sometimes kind of necessary. if it's meant for younger readers, if it's meant to be super approachable, which this really is, then being able to allow people in surface level is fine. You're not always looking for, like I said, Mariana Trench deep. Adding on to the visuals, the fashion in this is so fun and cute. The wrestling attire is also fun, and even the everyday wear is just so, ooh, it's so cute. The PFF leader at one point wears these like little pink shorts with orange heart pockets on the back, and I need them desperately, actually. I might make myself something like that. I can't make shorts, but I could maybe like go to a charity shop and add the pockets on the back, because that could be really fun. And they also wear a fit that's like so Miss Frizzle coded, and I'm obsessed. Oh, and Grace's wrestling boots, so darling. They're kind of like Why Are You or like Koi footwear coded. They're absolutely banging, and I need them. They're like purple boots with like a big platform on the bottom that's clear, and it's got like little things in the clear part. I just love that. And the fights themselves are fun. They're pretty dynamic. They're definitely bright and flashy with a level of softness to them. You know, there is only so hard you can swing a regular pillow if you're just using that, and Vargas plays with that well. She is the artist of the two people mentioned earlier, and maybe I perhaps like a little bit more sort of visual speed, but like I'm not sure that's a necessity. I love high octane action, and because this is meant to be sort of wrestling coded, it is a little bit like I can't think of the word, like still. I would like to see a little bit more, like it's sort of dynamic, but I feel like it could be leveled up. Like I've seen fights with a lot more clear movement than this. I think that's what it is. Stilted is a little bit, and that is what basically my biggest criticism actually is, that I wish I had a bit more from the fights, but I wasn't bored by them. I just wanted a little bit more. And they do also play with how the fighting works really well. Like I said, this is very much akin to pro wrestling or roller derby. You know, they don't use the term faces and heels, they use the term heels and heroes to give you people to boo for, give you people to cheer for. We have pinfalls, submissions, we have like sort of recognized named moves, and we also have gimmicks. Here the gimmicks are fight soners, which is such a funny name. I love that so much. And actually, this wasn't like laugh a minute for me. It's like a nice little giggle sort of thing. But the one bit that did really get me, it's when they're announcing that they're going to, I think it's when they're announcing that they're going to be replacing somebody on the main roster, or Grace has just moved to the main roster, and the leader of the PFF is like, yeah, we lost someone, and Grace is like, huh? And they're like, no, they just left, they're not. That got me. It was a cute little like misunderstanding kind of thing. And in real life, you hear people like wrestlers and drag queens talk about this kind of concept, and I'm sure there's a level of that with roller derby as well. But there is a level of confidence you can gain by using a gimmick for your public face. Like, Grace really gets into that with her gimmick, Cinderella. She starts as a hero, turns heel, but she's reluctant to do that behind the scenes. She's scared of being a bad guy as a chubby woman of colour. I believe she's Cuban. Because these people already have their preconceived notions about the kinds of people who are in those groups. But she finds the confidence to do it anyway and tries to redefine things in her own little way. She can be a hero, she can be a heel, no matter who she is. And it's lovely to see her speak so confidently when she's Cinderella, because in her head she can justify it by like, this isn't Grace talking, this is Cinderella talking. So she has a kind of mask to hide behind, but that just often makes her able to speak from the heart. The names are all brilliant, by the way. Very drag, very roller derby. It's wonderful wordplay, and you love to see it. I think Pain Air might be my favourite, but they're all fantastic. Oh, actually, Elbow Baggins is good as well. They're all really good. But yeah, like, that idea of building confidence through having a public facing role. It's like you look at somebody like Chapel Roan. She talks about that as well. That's the reason she goes by that name. She has full drag when she's on stage, because that allows you a degree of separation from the person that's inside. There's like an outer version and an inner version, and it allows you to say more, do more, be more in a way. And it can genuinely, knowing that you can say certain things, act certain ways behind that gimmick, can often lead to you having an increase of confidence, because at the end of the day that is still you saying that. And I don't mean like you're playing a character on a screen, like you can say whatever you like. I just mean like you may not be very confident in real life, but behind the gimmick it's a lot easier, and that can sort of bring your overall confidence up. And there is a very clear vision for this book. It's about finding yourself, finding your people, and doing your best to blossom. It isn't always easy, but it's worth it in the end. This is a great book for something easy to read. I'd happily have read a longer form version of this, put together like Fence was, where the plot is a lot more drawn out, but the quick choppiness of this works really nicely. This is not a drawn out book. It's very quick scenes and things happen very quickly. The pacing might be a little quick. It's quite a long book and a lot is crammed into it. I actually think it may have benefited from being maybe 2 or 3 books, just so we can get to know people a little better. But that's not the end of the world. We still had a good time with it, or at least I did. And frankly, after having watched Adolescence this weekend and being left in an absolute state of despair, I think I needed something quite like this, quite frankly. That show did me in. I was left a sobbing wreck by the end. Good Lord. But because of that, let me know your favourite sort of feel-good, easygoing stories down in the comments below. I am getting increasingly further into getting that long review done. So then hopefully I can read some more long books after that, because I am getting kind of sick of having to work in the way that I am at the minute. I might be reading Convenience Store Woman next week, because that's, I think, a little over 150 pages. I checked when I got that today. So I think I can probably get the timing on that right, but no guarantees on that. But anyway, feel free to like, feel free to subscribe, and feel free to ring that notification bell, all that cringe shit I'm supposed to ask you to do in my videos. But most importantly, I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful night, a wonderful whenever you are watching this. Take good care of yourself. Right.